Okay, welcome back to the Barrett channel, another video here, and you've only got me today, Ollie, as the old man's back home. This is just going to be a sort of chatting kind of video, talking about some subjects that are, you know, interesting about society. We're walking by this beautiful river, which is about 15 minutes ride away from where I live. What a beautiful day it is today though. It's like 27 degrees and sunny in the middle of November. It's just an absolute blessing. Like back in the UK, on the way into winter, it's rainy every day. It's super cold out there, maybe like 5 degrees if you're lucky. And I'm experiencing this, getting a nice tan in going into winter, which is really nice. So today we're going to be chatting about the safety in China. Okay, so it's quite an interesting topic because the perception in the West, I think, is a lot different to what the reality is. And being here for 8 months now, I've got a good idea of what the safety is like. And you know, this is going to be my own experiences. And I live in a first-tier city, Shenzhen. So you know, it may be a little narrow, my perspective, because I haven't lived in, you know, everywhere in China, of course. So this is going to be my perspective about living in Shenzhen. So first off, I'm going to tell you a story. I used to live in a place in Worcestershire, in the UK, which is not a city. It was just a small town. I actually lived in a village near the town. But on a night out, we'd go to a town called Cheltenham. And then this place, this was back when I was 18, I'm 22 now. And when I was 18, we went on a night out. And I'm not the person to get into confrontation with people. You know, all I want is peace between people. Like, I don't care for fighting or violence or any of that stuff. So after the night out, we had a great time. It was actually Halloween. It was quite funny because we were in I was in a Breaking Bad costume, and I had some friends that was in like a skeleton morph suit or whatever. Now, and we ended up waiting for a taxi after the night out. We were sat in the little groove in McDonald's, the sort of entrance, and next thing you know, I won't go into the details, but we had about 15 I'd say they were travellers, and basically just start a fight with me and my 3 friends that we were with. No sort of, we weren't asking for anything, and they just came along, and you could see all their intention was to start violence. So we actually had to go to A&E because one of my friends needed some urgent treatment. The police got involved and everything, and we tried to get hold of some CCTV footage to see who these people were, and we were told that there was no cameras in the area. And this is a fairly big town, so you know, couldn't be followed up. They got away, nothing happened, nothing came of it. Oh wow, I've just got to spin you around and just show you what I'm gonna have to cross whilst I video. Hopefully I don't slip on these rocks and fall in. Okay, these guys are washing their bikes by the looks of it. Oh dear. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to try and vlog whilst I'm on it. Oh. Right, okay, let me try and keep my train of thought. So that brings me on to my first point, which is about cameras. I'm pretty sure everyone in the West is aware that there's a lot of cameras in China. You've pretty much got eyes on you at all times, especially in a big city like Shenzhen. So that, first of all, just makes the security so much better, because people know that you're going to be caught on camera if you commit a crime. As well as, if you are caught committing a crime, the punishment is going to be much, much worse. And I don't see how that's a bad thing at all, because unless you're someone who is committing crime, that shouldn't bother you at all. So yeah, so there's much harsher punishment and there's eyes on you at all times, so people are much less likely to commit crimes. And it's shown in studies there is such a lower crime and murder rate in China than there is in the West. In the little village that I'm in, you know, there's no issues, there's no worry, excuse me, when I'm walking around at night. When I go to the nearest town, which is a really small town, it's only 5 minutes down the road. If I'm walking around at night on my own, I've definitely got worries in my head. I'm definitely looking around. I'm definitely a little bit anxious in case someone's following me, someone's around me, there's a group of lads around the corner. You know, it's a worry, and I'm pretty sure everybody's the same. And that's only in a small town. If you go to the cities, like, you know, London, Birmingham, Manchester, you wouldn't dare walk around on your own past dark, really. You know, especially, you know, being a guy, I'm much less vulnerable than a girl. If I had a girlfriend and she said, look, I'm going to just pop down to the shop to get some milk, and it's like midnight, I'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, and they probably wouldn't want to do it anyway, because you just have to be worried about your vulnerability. Whereas here, I noticed it as soon as I came. I'm like out walking around the city at midnight or whatever, and I just see, you know, young girls on their own, on their phone, walking around, not a worry in the world that something's going to happen. And that is just amazing. That's such a type of freedom that is different to the perspective in the West of having more cameras and whatnot. They think, oh, you know, it's used for controlling or whatever. But the reality is that it gives you much more freedom to do what you want when you want. So it's amazing. Same as me, you know, I can walk around there's been times I'm walking back from like a night out at 3 AM and it's not even a worry in my mind that something's going to happen. And it's really nice. You also see, it's a thing here that everyone likes to sleep in the day. Everyone has a nap in the day, right? So it comes to 12 o'clock, they eat their lunch, and you'll see people having a nap. And it won't be, you know, at home. It might be at home, but people will nap anywhere. So I see, you know, construction workers, they'll just set up a little sandbag on the side of the road and they'll just have a kip for half hour. And people on park benches, just anywhere, and they don't have to worry about having their phones or their phone or their keys stolen from them, or someone messing with them when they're asleep. They're just free to nap in the sunshine. What also happens as a result of this freedom thing is it's kind of a thing in the UK. If you grow up in a city and you want to start a family, you really have to think about where you feel your family are going to be safe. So a lot of families will, you know, they'll start a family and they'll want to emigrate out of the city because of the safety issues. Whereas here it's the complete polar opposite. People want to move into the cities when they start having a family because there's more opportunity for the kids, there's better schools, there's more transport. So I guess that creates the urbanization here is way higher, at a way higher rate than it is back in the UK. So there's all these things about safety, right? And I just think the perspective is there's cast judgment about the Chinese being watched all the time, and it's being here and seeing what the reality is like. They are really unfair judgments. So that's really all I've got to say on this one. China is a very safe country, or at least my own experiences have been extremely safe, and I'm loving it. So yeah, like I said, that's it from me. If you do enjoy these kinds of videos, just talking about sort of society in China, it'd be great if you could let us know by leaving a like and ringing the bell that's next to it. And if you want, you can leave a comment too and ask me any questions, and I'll be sure to answer you. Yeah, so that's all from me, and we will see you in the next one. Until next time.